When I was a kid, I was a very pretty little girl. I had long blonde hair, I had a ponytail, blue eyes, long eyelashes. Everyone said what a cute little girl I was. And I should have been very happy about that, but I wasn't. I felt misunderstood. I knew what I looked like. I knew that people looked at me and saw a girl. I knew. But I knew who I was also, so I felt cheated.
Do you know what a shrimp clam is?
It's a begonia, and it has little...
And it has a shrimp.
And they look like
blossom,
shrimp.
yeah.
Oh, I've never eaten them.
Oh my God, we used to denude all the neighbors' stuff. And
Oh, seriously?
And they would get so upset. And me and Paige Roselle, we would explain to them that we were Indians and we were living off the land. And they'd say, right, in downtown Houston. No, my elementary school, a guy showed up with dynamite and blew himself up and 14 people. And he killed a lot of people.
At elementary school?
No, yeah, my 5th grade. I was 11.
10 or 11, okay. That's pretty young to be blowing things up.
Well, he was
like
irritated at his ex-wife. You know how that goes. And he killed his own son. He was 7. He killed himself and the son. The wife was elsewhere, the ex-wife. Yeah. And he killed the custodian and a teacher and 4 or 5 kids.
But with the explosion, you're saying?
Yeah, he had a briefcase full of dynamite.
That's nuts.
He was a minor. Well, you know, people get upset about child custody. Yeah.
So he blew up the kid?
He blew up his own kid.
Yeah.
The first time I thought about changing my gender, I thought it would happen by itself, because I knew I was a boy. And when I was a little kid, I thought, when I hit puberty, the truth will come out, and everything down there will change, and I'll be a normal boy. And then I was 13, and I was very disappointed. Oh, terrible. My disappointment was terrible. And my mother came and got me off the football field, and she said, no more football, no more playing rough with boys. Now you're a young lady, and you have to behave like a young lady. And I thought, oh, my life is over. And so for the next decade or so, I tried very hard. I tried very hard to be a girl. I tried to be a good girl. I tried for my parents. I tried for my life. I tried to be what they wanted and what everyone expected of me. I had 2 secrets all my life. One secret was, I'm a boy. Never tell. Never tell anyone. The other secret was, I'm a normal boy. I like girls, especially pretty girls. Never tell. That makes you homosexual. In Texas, in the 1950s and early 60s, that was a death sentence. Your parents would die of shame. You'd get beat up. It was not a good thing. I tried until I couldn't try anymore. One day, I woke up and I was 45, 46, and I said, I can't go on this way. I cannot live like this. Either I'm going to change or I'm going to die.
very first bike I ever bought was a Honda 90, and it was half to begin with, and I had this enormous girlfriend. God, she was a giant. And every time we had to go up a long hill, I'd say, honey, you have to get off. That poor little bike. And he had a friend who thought that he could build a kit and turn this Harley Sportster into a replica of a 1905 sidecar rig. And it looked good. The kit looked really good. Fire engine red, but the difference was it had brakes. In 1905, the brakes were, I'm thinking non-existent. You know. It had electric start. You know, there was room in the sidecar for a big battery. And the thing was great, but the problem was, first you had to buy the Sportster, and that was, what, $8-9 grand. And then you had to buy the kit. So by the time you paid for the whole thing, it was like $32,000.
Great.
Which 15 years ago would buy you the top-of-the-line Mercedes-Benz. Now you could probably sell them. So they built 2 of them, and they took them all around the shows, and everybody went, boy, that's really great. You know, if it cost half that much, we could sell them. So they never sold any. But, you know, they each kept one, and the guy loaned it to me for a weekend.
Oh.
It was one of my friend's birthday. It was her 60th birthday. She'd never been on a motorcycle. This is bright red. Put her in the sidecar, and we spent the whole day cruising around town with her standing up in the sidecar going like this.
I like it.
Rudy used to do that with the Purina cat chow. It's 2 in the morning. She's having a little bit of a snack, which involves crunching the loudest crunches there are on this earth.
Yeah.
course, get on my motorbike, squeeze with my knees, and the bike wouldn't go. Bike. Myself, I like being a tourist.
Yeah, tourists.
I don't know what they wool looks like wool, and that looks like wool. There we are, pulling all the woolly jumpers out of the truck. Start in the back and work our way forward.
Instead of when they get close, you just need to keep an eye.
But it kind of was okay after a while. I got to go with a bunch of friends and
Oh, one of our people dropped out. You have to come take the test for the honor and glory of being nice. And the Friends of the Urban Forest came and planted it.
Yeah, you request that?
Yes.
Excellent.
nice. I love the colour of the leaves.
Do you get to pick?
No, it's not that sort of plum.
Yeah.
It's like
No. Do you get to choose it?
Oh yeah, they tell you what they think will survive.
Yeah.
But the point is that there's a plum tree 2 houses away.
Ah.
You get these cards with pictures. And it was a picture of the front of a building, ramshackle building, with a ramshackle picket fence in front of it, and a sign that said, "Warning, no trespassers. House is infested with rattlesnakes." And I asked Wolf about it, and it was his family ranch in Texas, where they would go in the summers, and it was a very good way of keeping people from trespassing, was to allow rattlesnakes to travel in your house, and their house did have, in fact, rattlesnakes.
Are we going to shut it from inside and then crawl out?
I could.
That would be fun.
All right, shut it. But you have to let me out. It can't. I mean, you really do.
You can't pull it from inside?
No.
That doesn't make much of a very good,
It's a design flaw.
yeah, what do they call it?
You can let me out now.
Okay. Panic room, that's what I was thinking of.
Well, I was thinking more of hiding priests in it.
Yes, yes.
Should I come down and play priests?
Wouldn't you be hiding a rabbi?
Oh my God! Look at that.
Don't ask me. What the hell would I know?
Close the priest hole.
I really
Do
am.
you realise it's
I really am proud of this because when you think of the weight,
It's brilliant.
It's superb.
when that was full of wine, it
Yeah.
weighed about 10,000 million tons.
Oh, it's still.
Sailor still at 56. No phone, no fool, no pass. Ain't got a cigarette. About 2 hours of a driven through by the 8 by 12 cheerful bedroom. I'm a man of means of no means. King of the road. King of the road.
James to swim when he was 5. His reward was that he got to comb my hair.
Calm your hair?
Comb my hair.
Oh.
Built a aerial out in the backyard in Houston that went up about 45 feet. The neighbors were thrilled.
Like Ring of the Lightning.
Oh yeah.
In
At least
Texas.
it'll hit the mad inventor and not us. But it was an eyesore. But with that thing up, you betcha every time there was a thunderstorm, he was like, yank.
Yeah.
And he had a switch to turn everything off to the aerial. And I said, why don't you just turn the switch? He said, switch.
Oh, gotta come out.
Wanted a
Straight
physical.
across it if it was direct.
If it was good enough, yeah. I had a job where it didn't matter. I had friends who most of them, it turned out, didn't matter. But I had a father who had cancer, who was very sick, and I had to take care of him. And if I had told him, he would have gone out, and he would have had no one to take care of him. So I waited until I was 50. I waited until he died to start really living every day as a man. But in the meantime, I was laying the groundwork for it. I was going to therapy, talking to a counselor to make sure that I wasn't just taking an easy way out. Life is easier for men than women, no? When I started taking hormones, it was so wonderful because for the first time in my life, I felt normal. I felt normal, I felt sane, I felt relaxed. Some people, they think testosterone makes you aggressive and angry. It doesn't. It relaxes you, especially if you're a man. It relaxes you, it makes life easy. I feel much calmer, I feel much happier. I feel like my life is made of one piece now. The day after surgery, I was able to get up and walk around and make a pest of myself.
And after about a week, I was able to pretty much lead a normal life. I wasn't riding a bicycle or running track or anything really strenuous. In about 4 months, I felt normal. I felt like I'd forgotten what happened.
What do you have on there?
That's good. Yeah. That'll be.
I think as the first episode, it's a wrap.